Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Yusha Mohem, and today I'll be presenting a powerful future within StableNet. The visual Traceroute will be briefly cover the fundamentals of Traceroute and then dive into how StableNet significantly enhance this capability for network visibility and diagnostics. So for those who don't know, uh, we will begin with the basics. Traceroute is a diagnostic tool used to trace the path that data packets take from a source to destination. It reveals each network hops along the path and provides the response time for each hop. So behind the scenes, every router use something called a routing table to determine where to send the next packet. These tables are built dynamically using routing protocols and are crucial for delivering data efficiently across the internet or a private network. Traceroute help us identify where issue might be occurring, whether that's latency, dropped packets, unreachable devices, or even routing loops. It's a valuable tool for troubleshooting performance problems or verifying the path of the traffic. However, traditional traceroutes have limitations. Most rely on sequential SMP or UDP probes. So this makes them relatively slow and they struggle to give accurate results in complex topology or when even multiple paths are involved. And they often lack of a clear visual representation, which make interpretation time consuming. And this is how we bring us to StableNet enhances this and modernize the traceroute process, where you can visually see how the traceroute is going from hub to hub. And we will move on now to the next slide, where we can see the visual traceroute in StableNet. And you see the advantage of having a traceroute in StableNet. So StableNet addresses this limitation by offering a high performance visual traceroute feature with several key benefits. As you can see, we do have high speeds performance. First, StableNet use parallel SMP probes packet, which make this the traceroute process significantly faster than traditional methods, unlike UDP-based probing, which can't support parallel queries and make it difficult to correlate responses. ICMP-based parallel probes allow StableNet to send and process multiple packets efficiently and also in real time. And of course, we do have very rich visualization and insights, which combine with the maps and detailed table view to show. Yeah, the traceroute results are presented in both weather maps style graphical view and detailed table as just mentioned. This dual view helps network engineer or administrators quickly understand the full path and the behavior behind each hop. Yeah, in them you can see the minimum and maximum and average responses time per hops, which is especially useful for performance analytics. And if there is a parallel path, they all like in load balance or redundant network, they all show clearly in both the graph and the table, helping to spot unexpected routing behavior. Yeah, third, flexible configuration. So you can define key parameters such as the number of probe packets, timeout, duration, and retry attempts, which is give you precise control of how the traceroute is conducted. Another strong point is the ability to initiate Traceroute from any StableNet agent, which is make it possible to run distributed Traceroute across various parts of your network, giving a true end-to-end view. Whether you are troubleshooting an access issue from a remote branch or testing maybe a backbone path, you can launch the Traceroute from the most relevant location. Here I do have a screenshot of how Traceroute is represented in StableNet. So basically, all you need to do is just move to the device tab, or you're accessing the inventory, and do a right click on the device itself, which is directly opening this tab to you. And you can drill down and see you have the analysis part where you can move to the Traceroute. And this will open a pop-up window, as you can see, this second window on the right, should be having the Traceroute representation very nicely in a StableNet. So with the Traceroute interface open, so it allows the configuration where do you have the weather map option. So basically all the Traceroute here, you see it in weather maps view. It can be added also to directly to our weather maps, can be linked there. You can change how you want to see it. If you have different layout you want to have it, organical, hierarchy, circle, and other layouts. So I chose here the organic to visualize the path clearly. And you do have the execution agent. I do have two agents on this system, on this my test system. I selected the local agent, meaning the traceroute will be executed from the local agent where the StableNet is installed. Another option also to select another agent based on your preference. We do have the IP address on the device, which is filled by the same IP. By the way, I do have this device called Walmart because I selected a random device for Walmart, which is just accessing walmart.com. And we do have the max hops, if you can see, set to 16, which is limit how far we trace through the network. We do have the retry count set to 3 for reliability, and the retry delay, I have set it here to 0 seconds for immediate retries. And yeah, I just click on the load traceroute, and then it will open this graphical and table representation to me. You can see a detailed hop by hop list showing us the hop count and the host names, IP, and the route trip time, the minimum and average and max. So in this example, this traceroute include some internal routers and intermediate ISP and backbone routers maybe, and public routers which could be possibly in Europe or in US before reaching the final destination. Yeah, the visual topology map below represent the same traceroute as a live network path diagram. This include node-to-node connection and latency between each hop, and it helps in easily identifying long delays or bottlenecks in the network path. Yeah, and this, of course, we got multiple benefits from this traceroute, which is directly identifying latency issue or routing anomalies. And of course, it verifies the connectivity paths from different agents or location, and support troubleshooting when users report slow access to a service, such as I do have now at Walmart.com. And especially useful in this distributed monitoring environment, where customer or user have services span multiple geographies. Yeah, that's basically what is Traceroute in StableNet and how it's look like. Basically, as I mentioned earlier, this all can be also exported or filtered out. You see this, you have the options here for filtering or selecting a column that you want. And of course, you can export the data as well as CSV or Excel format. And as I mentioned earlier, you can add this Traceroute directly to our other maps where you can further edit and play around with it more. And you have also a tab if you're here to change so the representation or to add more legends or text to the Traceroute if you select that. Yeah, this is briefly my presentation for today. Um, and I hope it was useful to you. Yeah, and be open for any questions. And of course, yeah, at the end from hop to hop, StableNet can get your back. You install it and trace it and trust it. Thank you, everyone.